Money is something almost everyone wants, yet very few truly understand. People work tirelessly their whole lives to earn it, but never feel it's enough. They believe the problem lies in earning too little, not realizing that it's actually their lack of understanding about the true nature of money. But it's precisely that lack of understanding that quietly undermines their lives, from their health, their family, to their mind. Because when you don't understand money, you can't control it. And when you can't control it, it will control you. Many people live as though money is a mysterious god, unpredictable, elusive, and constantly making them feel inadequate and afraid. But in truth, money is just a tool. It is not smarter than you. It has no emotion. It simply responds to what you command through your habits, beliefs, actions, and financial mindset every day. Some people spend their entire lives trading time for money. They go to work, get paid, spend it, and start again. That cycle repeats for decades until one day they realize, despite having spent most of their life earning money, they never learned how to make it stay. They never learned how to turn $1 into $2. They never learned how to make money work for them, even when they are no longer working. And that is the difference between someone who merely survives and someone who truly achieves freedom. Those who are genuinely wealthy are not showy. They have nothing to prove. They let their assets speak for themselves. They don't need to post on social media every time they invest or sign a big deal. They understand that big money often comes with silence, because showing off is a trap for those still lacking confidence. If you still need others to see how much you have, it means you don't truly own it yet. Truly wealthy people are discreet. They don't talk much about money, but every action, every decision they make is proof of a deep understanding of value, risk, and financial strategy. They don't let emotions interfere with the numbers. They don't spend money to impress. They use money as a tool to expand their vision, create long-term value, and bring security to those they love. To reach that level, you don't need extraordinary intelligence. You just need to be serious. You need to pause, face reality, and start learning from scratch. Learn how to understand money, how to keep it, how to multiply it, and most importantly, how not to let it dominate your mind. Most people don't need a lot of money to live well, but they do need the wisdom to manage money correctly. Because without financial intelligence, even the highest income will eventually vanish. You could be earning tens of thousands of dollars a month, but if you have no spending control system, no emergency fund, no investment strategy, you'll still live in fear and lack. In contrast, someone with financial intelligence can live peacefully and grow wealth even with a modest income. Financial intelligence is not some lofty theory. It starts with simple things. Knowing exactly how much money flows in and out each month, knowing what is necessary and what is excessive, knowing how to avoid bad debt and resist temptations that only offer a false sense of wealth. But most importantly, it is the ability to make decisions without being swayed by the judgment of others. When you have financial intelligence, you don't need to ask anyone whether you should buy that car. You don't need anyone's approval for that investment. You know the numbers, you understand the risks, and you take full responsibility for your decision. Why stay discreet? Because flaunting your finances brings nothing but complexity. You become a target for envy, scrutiny, and unnecessary conversations about how much is enough. You'll be solicited for investments, asked for loans, and pressure to share your financial plans with people who have no business knowing. And the worst part is, the more you talk, the more you lose focus. Money only grows in an environment of discipline and intense focus. Every time you open your mouth to boast, you interrupt your own process of growth. There are principles that have existed for hundreds of years, yet never go out of style. Spend less than you earn. Save a portion each month. Stay away from bad debt. Invest consistently in cash-generating assets. And never put all your eggs in one basket. These things don't need to be broadcasted, they just need to be practiced. Quietly, consistently, like a seed growing roots beneath the soil. Unseen, yet expanding every day. Wealth does not come overnight. It comes through mornings when you wake up a bit earlier, read one more chapter, write down one more expense, decline one more wasteful invitation, and choose to keep saving instead of giving up. If you truly want to be wealthy, learn to master money with humility. No need to prove, no need to boast, no need for validation. You need results, not approval. You need assets, not fleeting admiration. Money doesn't come to the loud. It comes to the disciplined. And your silence will become the loudest voice of your success. Not everyone who knows how to earn money knows how to keep it. And not everyone who knows how to keep money knows how to make it grow. These are three completely different levels: earning, multiplying, managing. Financially intelligent people don't just know how to generate income, they know how to turn that income into assets and how to make those assets work for them. But what sets them apart most profoundly is this: they do it in silence. No showing off, no need for praise, no need for anyone's approval. Because those who truly understand the power of money never use it as a tool to impress. To earn money, you don't have to do something extraordinary. You have to do the ordinary with extraordinary intensity. That could mean working consistently, continuously improving your skills, reading more books, and building strong habits. But if you only know how to earn without knowing how to keep, you'll spend your entire life caught in a cycle of exhaustion and dependency. Money comes and goes without leaving a trace, not because you're wasteful, but because you've never stopped to design a system that helps money stay and serve you in the long run. The rich are not different from ordinary people because they are better at making money. They are different because they know how to create a mechanism that makes money keep multiplying, even while they're resting, reading, or spending time with their family. The core principle of multiplying money is understanding leverage of time, knowledge, networks, and assets. The poor work for wages, the rich use wages to buy assets. The poor spend all the money they earn, the rich save enough to have opportunities to invest. They don't focus on this month's salary, they focus on the cash flow over the next 10 years, and they act according to that vision. If you don't learn how to multiply money, you'll always be limited by the number of hours you can work in a day. But once you know how to make every dollar a silent worker, one that doesn't take leave, doesn't complain, you begin stepping into a world where freedom is real, not just an ideal. But no multiplication of money is sustainable without the art of management. Managing money means controlling every flow, every decision, every small habit each day. Truly wealthy people don't let emotions dictate their spending behavior. They don't buy things they don't need to impress people they don't know. They understand that every time they spend money without calculation, they lose power. Every time they spend on a fleeting emotion, they forfeit control over their future. Money management isn't just about Excel sheets. It's about vision, discipline, and the courage to say no to short-term temptations in pursuit of long-term results. Silence in finance is not secrecy. It is a sign of confidence and wisdom. Those who need to boast are usually not deep enough to understand true value. Those who crave praise for successful investment are often the ones who haven't yet experienced painful failure. But the truly wealthy, they understand that money comes with risk. And the greatest risk is letting others interfere with your thinking and decision-making system. They don't share financial strategies with people who lack financial responsibility. They don't discuss investments with people who prefer to argue rather than learn. And they absolutely avoid environments where showing off is seen as a measure of success. There is a deeper reason why financially successful people remain humble, because they understand financial security goes hand in hand with discretion. Exposing wealth invites envy, legal risks, and even manipulative schemes. Smart individuals always choose discretion because they know that privacy is a part of their assets. You don't need anyone to know how much money you have. You just need to know exactly what you're doing with it and the real reason behind every decision. When you manage money in silence, you are not swayed by the eyes of others. You have the space to fail, to adjust, to learn, and to grow without needing to explain or justify. Money, if left unguided, will reshape you in ways you never expected. It can make you more insecure, more dependent, and even a slave to the very things you once dreamed of. But when you master all three levels, earn, multiply, manage, you begin rewriting the entire script. You are no longer someone who chases money. You become someone who money must work for. And you don't need to say it out loud. The results will speak for themselves, like all true value in this world. Not every piece of advice is worth taking. And in finance, bad advice can cost you decades. The irony is this: the ones most eager to offer financial advice are often those with no significant financial success of their own. They tell you where to invest, what to buy, what to avoid, while they themselves are drowning in debt, stuck in low-paying jobs, and stressed over monthly bills. The issue isn't their intention. The issue is this: you can't learn how to build a castle from someone who's never even built a house. Some people say you shouldn't be too strict with your spending because life is meant to be enjoyed. But look at their savings account, empty. Others urge you to invest in whatever's hot right now, yet they've never survived a market crash. They don't understand asset structures, can't value a business, and have no reliable financial system, only emotional guesses and hearsay. The more you listen to them, the further you drift from real results. Sadly, most people around you fall into this category: enthusiastic, loud, and financially ignorant. One timeless principle: only learn from those who have actual results. Ask them, how long have you been applying this strategy? What was your real return over the past 3 years? How do you manage risk when the market is volatile? If they can't answer clearly, they're not qualified to be your advisor. Finance isn't a place for empty theory. It demands real-world experience, trial and error, data, and continuous improvement. You don't need generic advice. You need guidance based on proven experience. That's why financially successful people are often cautious with their words, because they know that advice given to the wrong person can become a weapon of destruction. You must have the courage to filter, whether it's your brother, your best friend, or a longtime coworker. If they don't have clear financial results, you must learn to listen without following. The truth is, most poor people remain poor because they only share limited experiences with one another. They repeat lines like, "Don't dream too big," "Real estate is too risky now." Whatever you do, make sure it's safe, while having no investment background, no understanding of economic cycles, no concept of asset allocation. They're not wrong. They're simply speaking from their worldview, a world filled with limitations and fear. But if you want to step into new territory, you must separate yourself from the old mindset. Finding the right person to learn from is the first step toward wealth. It doesn't have to be a millionaire. It could be someone who has consistently saved for 10 years, has no bad debt, owns a home, and maintains a profitable investment portfolio. Someone whose life appears simple yet solid. They don't show off, but they have a foundation. They don't need to speak much because their results speak clearly. And most importantly, they understand principles. They don't chase trends. They can explain why they don't invest in something, not because they don't understand it, but because it doesn't align with their strategy and values. You don't need many mentors, just one right person is enough. Someone who helps you see reality, who separates emotion from data, hope from facts, someone who doesn't say what you want to hear, but what you need to face. And you must be mature enough to listen, take notes, and apply it consistently step by step. Because financially successful people don't build empires from luck or fleeting motivation. They build with discipline, by listening to the right people and tuning out the wrong ones. And don't let familiarity become your standard for choosing advice. Don't confuse concern with competence. Don't use kindness as a measure of financial knowledge, because even well-intentioned advice, if incorrect, can still lead you into mistakes. Look closely. The person trying to teach you about money, how are they living? Are they financially independent? Do they have the freedom to choose work they love? Can they stop working for months and still maintain their lifestyle? If not, they might be someone you talk to, but not someone you follow. In the end, build yourself a mental filter. Only let advice through if it comes from someone with discipline, results, structure, and honesty in what they share. Finance is a long game. One bad piece of advice can cost you 5 years. One right piece can change your life. Who you choose to listen to matters more than you think. And wealth doesn't begin with how much you earn, but with who you allow to shape the way you think about money. Financial freedom doesn't begin with big investments or risky transactions. It starts with a small principle that most people overlook. Earn before you spend. It sounds simple, but it's precisely that simplicity where almost all failures begin. Because humans tend to live by emotion, and emotions always want immediate